Hi everyone, my name is Pragna Nidumolu and I'm the founder of EcoTeens, an initiative that helps raise awareness of climate change and how teens can come together across the globe to do their part in making this world a greener place for them and future generations to live in. As a part of EcoTeens, I launched a podcast called The Green Stories to bring diverse perspectives on sustainability and what we all can do as global citizens to address climate change. Today, we have a very special guest in this episode, Sagar Koirala. He is a youth climate activist from Eastern Nepal. He is currently serving as focal point of World Food Forum for Asia Pacific region. He has published few research articles related to agriculture and climate in some international scientific journals. He represented Nepal in 2 international COPs and has been following climate negotiation for the past few years. He has trained and mentored over 10,000 youths from Asia Pacific region in pursuing their climate journey. Sagar has worked extensively with youths from over 185 countries and has been working in grassroot since the past 6 years. Hi Sagar.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm fine as well.
Okay, now let's get into the questions. As a climate consultant for the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, what role do you play?
Well, actually, I'm a part-time consultant. I work mostly as a youth activist. So there are a lot of issues going on regarding climate change. So UNFCCC is I think you know about UNFCCC. So it's the main UN body for working in the sector of climate change. So I give them opinion, my perspective, my viewpoint from the perspective of a youth activist, and help them in formulating various international programs so related to climate change. So especially for South Asia, because the South Asia is a very vulnerable place. So we have a lot of emission from here, and we are uh, even talking about my country Nepal. So we are the fourth most vulnerable country in terms of climate change in the whole world. So there are countries like Maldives, Bangladesh, Bhutan, which are highly vulnerable too. So as a youth, so I give the perspective of youth, and give them what are the problems faced by youth, and I help them connect youth with the uh, bureaucracy of UNFCCC staffs.
That's very interesting. That's very impressive as well.
Thank you.
And also talking about youth, as a youth ambassador for real food systems, what does it entail and what is your role in that?
Yeah, actually, well, a real food system is a movement. So it started from Switzerland, but so the movement is all about promoting raw, uh, raw food, fresh food, not processed food. So and promoting more plant-based diet. So I'm a vegetarian myself, and I have been advocating for plant-based diet since past few years. So I believe that our ancestors could live 100 years because they consume plant-based diet. So previously there was no use of chemical fertilizers, pesticides, all those stuffs, and they could live healthily. So it's the same concept. So we want to promote a sustainable food system. So we want to promote plant-based diet. We want to promote more and more raw-based food, because in today's world there is a lot of processing is going on in food production,
Yeah.
and some processing fortification is very useful, but most of the processing is deteriorating the food quality and making it nutrient less. So we are working to promote plant-based diet all across the globe. So we have few ambassadors from all across the globe, and we have been advocating strongly for it. Thank you.
That's amazing. Wow. I'm a vegetarian too myself. and I try to also promote those businesses that sell plant-based food and more nutritious items that are less fertilized. I also observed that you are a Eco Generation Regional Ambassador for Samsung Engineering, and that seemed
Yes,
very
yes.
interesting, caught my eye. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, actually, yeah, it's a platform created by uh, Samsung Engineering and UNEP. So as a part of the CRS project, so you know CRS, it stands for Corporate Social Responsibility. So like Samsung is a big conglomerate, so they have to do something in the sector of education, in the sector of climate. So as a part of that, they have initiated that project few years back. So and I even won the Hidden Eco Hero Award 2019, so which was
Oh,
combinedly awarded by Samsung and United Nations Environmental Program. So I've been advocating for there since 2018, and I've been working in various issues, and I've been the regional ambassador for uh, past 4 years, and have been advocating for several issues. So I conduct mostly school-based campaign, plantation, drawing competition, promoting climate activism, and mobilize a lot of views. So like it's a platform where I help, and even I you can join it because I think even means it's open for people up to 24 years of age. So I urge other viewers also. So if you are a teenager, then you should definitely join this platform.
yes, that's so impressive. That's incredible. And thank you. Yes, we should all join this because this seems like a very good cause, and it is a very good cause to support and join and empower. Yes. Also, you are a COP representative from Nepal. So, how is your experience, and how can we have more youth participation in COP?
Yeah, actually, the COP stands for Conference of Parties. So like parties are like the countries, so who are aligning to the agreement of means reducing the emission for better world, and and to prevent global warming. So like it's the annual meeting happening every year in one of the countries. Like the the host country, there is rotation process. So like for example, uh, COP25 was in Spain, Madrid. COP26 was in uh, Glasgow, Scotland. COP27 was in Egypt, some Al Sheikh, and COP28 will be in Dubai. So like it gets changed from one country to one continent to another, and there are climate change is one of the most promising issue of today's generation. Like we are facing the climate change at a tremendous rate. We cannot stop climate change because like every activities of our is causing climate change. So what if now we are talking, even it is causing greenhouse emission. If we are eating, even we are growing, cultivating, every activity is walking, every activities is causing greenhouse gas emissions. So like what we can have, we can reduce it. So like there are like more countries like USA, China, India, who are highly polluters. So like
Yes.
the greenhouse emissions from these countries are very much as compared to countries like least developed countries like Nepal. So COP is a platform where youth from all across the globe, from all countries, and you not only youth but also delegates from the government, party delegates, and international media, and policymakers, UN officials, and other INGO officials. So they all come together for bringing better climate policies for this world. So like there was a convention called Paris Agreement in 2015. I don't know how much you guys are aware, but yeah, but since that the concept of COP has strongly emerged. Like we are trying to reach the target, limit the target to 1.5 degrees Celsius, and like but considerably there have been some progress, but due to means some disagreements from few of the parties, so we haven't been strongly able to formulate this agreement. But there have been progress, and like in one of the good achievement of COP27 was like loss and damage fund. So like um, we for least developed and underdeveloped countries are very much affected. And like though we have very less emission, like if you talk about Nepal, so we have less than 0.1% emission of the globe, but
Oh,
we are the fourth most vulnerable country in terms of climate change. So like we are doing nothing, but but our mountains are melting at a tremendous rate. So I think the bigger countries, the developed countries who are causing more and more emission, so they must be responsible for compensating us. So and so there have been progress, and like COP is a platform for youths to understand the negotiation process. Even in the side events, you talk about various things about climate change, and like you get to speak with so many people who have been working in the sector of climate change since many years. So like you get a lot of learning. So like uh, COP is like a different platform. So until and unless you attend it, you won't know so how it is. So but after you attend it, it's like a wonderful platform, and like you are gonna have a really wonderful time.
oh, I'm sure. I really hope I would be able to attend one of the conferences because it is such a great experience and hearing everybody talk and all the speakers. That's amazing. And that's great that you were a representative from Nepal. And even though you are producing a lot less emissions than other countries and you are still getting affected, it's just showing how much the bigger countries need to take action and how we all need to come together and really make a difference before it gets worse. So, personally, I had a few questions. So, what exactly inspired you to get into sustainability in the first place?
Well, actually, I come from a mountainous country. So like out of the top 10, so top 8 mountains of the world are from Nepal. So like and so uh, we are very much vulnerable to climate change. And for example, and even that my family is also involved in agriculture, and like agriculture is one of the sector which has been mostly impacted by the climate change. So like seeing this impact, so of climate change in agriculture and into our ecosystem, into everything we depend upon. So I thought that maybe I think we should act more. Maybe I think we need to act now, because if we don't act now, it is gonna be too late, because the gas emissions is increasing at a tremendous rate. And if we don't act now, to act early, it is gonna be a big mistake. And our mistake is gonna be our mistakes is gonna be faced by our our forthcoming generation, and they are
Yes.
gonna curse us for it. And like for example, you can take an example of ozone depletion. So if previously there was a ozone depletion at a tremendous rate, and everyone was fearing that if such rate of depletion continues, so like we will be exposed to UV rays, so we should cause of various skin diseases and health hazards. But unfortunately, due to some of our actions, like we discarded the use of aerosols. Like, do you know what is aerosols?
No, can you
Oh,
talk about that?
yeah, yeah. Well, like means uh, it's like the gas. It's like the gases being means emitted from aeroplane engines, jet engines,
Oh,
and
right. Yes.
and from this refrigerator and all those things.
Mm.
So they they are one of the biggest causes of greenhouse gas emission and even ozone layer depletion. So we have changed the technology. So we started manufacturing air conditioners which doesn't uh, create ozone layer depletion, we started reversing the technologies. We started working on it, and and since that, the ozone layer has been almost recovered. So it's one of the good progress aspect in a place where we are hearing a lot of environmental problems, a lot of difficulties going on in environment. So just like we did it in ozone, we reclaim it. So I hope we can do something like that in climate change as well. So and maybe my small action is very small, my action is very small, individual action is very small, but if many people like me, we come together, our individual actions are gonna make a big difference. And that's why I came into this sector. Uh, and I've been battling every day, so with my actions and trying to motivate people and other youths from all across the globe to be more sustainable, adopt sustainable lifestyle, and see how we can make a difference.
That's amazing. That's in fact why I founded this organization as well, because I know that I used to think this before too, that like my action, if I drink from a plastic bottle today, it won't make a difference because it's just one person. But if everybody contributes to this cause, then it'll become such a much bigger impact, and it'll actually change the world, and it can actually make such a big impact and a big difference. Yes, that's amazing. So, how do you personally stay sustainable? So, what actions do you do to stay sustainable?
Well, yeah, actually, so uh, I'm a vegetarian, so so my the whatever I eat, they have very less emission. So even if you compare with the meat, so there are some meat items which have high emission compared to others. So beef is one of the thing which has the highest emission. So not only beef, I avoid everything. So previously I used to consume only eggs. So but since after learning that it is also creating a lot of emissions, so I thought I'll better shift to plant-based diet. and like and I've been following sustainable lifestyle, so I don't use plastic much. So it's very difficult in countries like Nepal to totally avoid it, because you don't have any alternative. But I don't use plastic as much as possible. So whenever if I go to buy any grocery, or let me okay, so whenever I go to buy grocery or anything in the shop or in the supermarket, so I take my plastic my sorry my bag with me, which is not made from plastic. And I try to avoid as much plastics as possible. And one thing about the plastic is that the more the attractive color they have, the more it is difficult to recycle and decompose them. So it's next to impossible. So I try not to use those plastics which are highly colorful, and which are next to impossible for the recycling. And I prefer only those plastic items which can be recycled, reused. And I prefer cycling. So currently I'm in Kathmandu, so it's pretty congested and polluted city. So and the cycle is not so popular here, but back in my hometown, so it is one of the most popular city of Nepal as well. So I travel to and fro from bicycle. And I try to move, not only maintain my health through the cycling exercises, but also trying to promote the environment through my zero emissions. And I also have been working with so many youths. So we went to COP 26. So it has a lot of greenhouse emissions, like aeroplane flights. So they're high emitters. So my action of going to abroad is also causing high emissions. So for compensating that, so we do some plantation activities. And we do promote more sustainable projects, and we work with people. So as an agriculturist and agriculture researcher myself, so I've been doing few projects since past few years to promote biofertilizers and reduce the use of chemical fertilizers. So totally abandoning chemical fertilizers is not possible in Nepal in current scenario. Sri Lanka recently tried it, and the system totally collapsed, and it went, the country went into deep economic crisis. So I don't know if you are following it or not. So we need to shift to organic, or I mean to say sustainable, but in stepwise. So we can't directly totally integrate into a sustainable way. So I've been working with the farmers community, uh, family farmers here in Nepal, also with the commercial farmers. So, and we have been trying to promote more and more sustainable solutions. We are trying to promote more and more biofertilizers, sustainable ways of plant protection, and these are some of the actions. And I've been working in um, all 17 SDGs. Though my main domain is SDG 2 Zero Hunger and SDG 13 Climate Action, but I've been involved in all 17 domains and trying to motivate more and more people to take climate action. And even during the pandemic, so I conducted various trainings, workshops regarding climate action to use from all across the globe, especially Asia Pacific region. And I discuss the ways how they can take the personal action and how it can create a big difference.
Wow, that is amazing. That lifestyle is it's very hard to maintain and follow, and always every single day keeping that in mind to be sustainable and to use plastic that would decompose easier and make that effort to use less energy and less emissions, and try to compensate like the flight emissions by going on walks and replanting. That's amazing, and I think that is just incredible, and that's an amazing lifestyle to follow, and I applaud you for that. My final question is, what is your message to the community? What do you want youths to watch this and leave with? What message do you want them to know?
Well, actually, I think that today's youth, so many of them are aware, but still around half of the youths, I think they don't care about climate. So they go for holidays, and they go randomly, means to new many places. They go to every countries, means I mean to say they use excessive flights, and they use vehicles just for sake of fun. And so I think such activities are also leading to a lot of climate change, a lot of emissions. So if we become serious and conscious, so our efforts and take sustainable efforts, so we can help it reduce to greater extent. So we use have a great power. So around half the population of the world is youths. So if we use started following the steps of climate action and started taking this issue seriously, then we can create a big difference. And we can, if youth get to understand about this concept, if youth learn about this concept, then they can teach and motivate other members in the family. They can convince the older members who don't have much knowledge about this sector, and we can encourage them to follow sustainable lifestyle. And we have very limited resources,
Mm.
but the population is increasing at an explosive rate. So with limited resources and all those problems, so we need to shift to sustainable measures and see how we can create a difference. And I think more and more youths are coming in this sector in recent years. So when I was in school days, when I was in 5 6 grade, so at the time the climate change was not a big issue. So but now it has become a big issue. And even in 2020 we observed COVID-19 pandemic. So the world was totally shut down, in there was lockdown all over the world. So it affected a lot of businesses and a lot of things, and it increases the debt toll to a high level. So like we were telling that we are living in the scientific advanced age, and like science has progressed a lot, but still we haven't found the cure of the COVID-19. So like we may always go ahead in technology, we may do a lot of progress, but we must not forget our roots. We must not forget that earth is our planet, so it gave us everything, every resources for us. And if we keep exploiting the resources just for our materialistic needs, so we our survival may come as a threat. So like uh, it's a warning by, I think, by nature, that
Yes.
you should not haphazardly use the natural resources. You should make up, you should utilize the resources. You should also think about other animals, because like we human are only concerned about ourselves, but there are a lot of wildlife, a lot of plant plant ecosystems all around the globe, and they also need survival. So it is not only our planet, it is their planet as well. So we need to make sure that all the living beings, so of this world, so they also need to uh, survive. And like there are a lot of uh, animals, like we call dog, cat and everything, but we humans, we are called human being because like we are not totally human. So like, but we are always striving to be like human. The being like human means like thinking about better of the planet. We're always striving to think like means how we can create a big difference, how we can how we are one of the most intelligent creature of this planet, and how our actions will have a big repercussion in this planet. So like we are always striving to take more and more good actions, and like so we are always trying to be more and more like uh, getting into like human. So like I think that's the reason we are called human being. So like we are always striving to get to that perfection. We are always taking our actions for that, but still we have some disadvantages, we have some flaws. But I think with the way how we are going on, with the way awareness, with the youth activation participation being increased in recent scenario regarding this sector, and like the investment getting getting started to flow for the climate action. So I'm optimistic that hopefully we can create a big difference, and hopefully our future generation will enjoy the earth as comfortably as we have been enjoying. So I think so it's a big issue, and climate change is related with almost every sector. It has there has not been any sector where it has not affected. So I think we all need to act together responsibly, take sustainable actions, motivate more and more people, teach them about climate action, influence them to take sustainable
Yes.
actions, sustainable solutions, and and then I and then maybe we can create a difference, and maybe we can help
Yes.
prevent means global warming. So it is
Yes.
already happening, but maybe we can reduce the rate at which it is happening, and make it sustainable for our future generation as well.
Yes. That's very inspiring, and all the youth should listen to this and take it into account and understand that if we come together, we can make this world a better place, and we can try to reduce global warming, not stop it. We can try to reduce it. Thank you so much, Sagar, for joining us today. And it was such a pleasure to talk to you. See you in the next one.